What's going on, guys? Kulprit here, and today we got some new information about Naval Strike. Particularly, we got some overhead images of the maps, so we can kind of look at them and kind of imagine how they might play out. You guys know I like to do that. Couple detailed shots I found, and a little bit more information from a blog post that DICE did. So I figured I'd put them all together into a video and share them with you guys, because I really enjoy kind of hypothesizing how these maps will play in different modes and things, and you guys seem to enjoy that as well. But first, before I get into that, I want to give proper credit to the people where I found these things, and the first is most of these overhead map images are from Battle Rush Gaming. He has a YouTube channel, he has a website. I will link those in the description if you want to look at them for yourself. Go check them out, take a look down there, the links will be down there. I also found a couple other images on a IMGUR post, which is very hard to cite. The guy's name, the username is Jogan, J-O-A-G-N. I will link that down below as well. Those are kind of more zoomed in overhead maps. I find these things through Twitter and things, so it's hard to give proper credit to those guys because I see, 5 or 6 links all at once. But those are the main sources I used, and as well as the Battlelog blog that the DICE released some information themselves. So let's get right into looking at some of these maps, and I'll give you some of my impressions and some things that jumped out at me. Alright, first map we're looking at here is the Lost Islands map, and obviously the first thing that jumps out at you is huge, incredibly huge. It's wide open, definitely room for, sea and air assets to play. This thing is enormous, and remarkably, this is not, according to DICE, their official statements, this is not the largest one, but we're going to get into that. Looks kind of like a volcano, kind of something like that, perhaps, I don't know, just a little rocky outcropping, apparently in the middle of the ocean. Here we take a look at the Lost Islands, zoomed in a little bit. This kind of reminds you of Lost, doesn't it? The plane crash and things. The crash jet is obviously the focal point. It is also going to be one of, if not the, Levolution event. You can destroy the jet to create cover for your infantry. It looks to play similar to Parasol Storm, obviously. It definitely looks and echoes Parasol Storm quite a bit. Will be very interesting to see where they put TDM and domination on this map. Is it going to be just one island? Is it going to encompass 2 or 3? I don't know. Obviously, we can see a huge reliance on boats, jet skis, hovercraft, and air. We knew that going into Naval Strike. That is no surprise. Again, it's going to feel a lot like Parasol Storm from what I'm gathering here. Will be very interesting to see how they do rush here. This is not a linear map by any means. It doesn't appear to be. And, rush seems to work better on linear maps. Think Domovan Peak and maps like that. This is going to probably be more like a Grand Bazaar from Battlefield 3 where you jump around and you kind of shift. You don't go in a line. You go to one corner, then another corner, and another. You'll be hopping islands. Be interesting to see. Carrier assault as well. There's not a huge expanse, at least close in here zoomed. So you got to imagine the carriers are going to be offset. Again, look back at the huge image I showed you. Plenty of room there to put those things. So it'll be interesting to see how those played out. I'm a little worried about infantry here, just getting bombarded by attack boats. Again, I said, it's Parasol Storm. That it can be what happens, and with so much water assets and things, it could be trouble. Don't see a lot of real solid cover here. Seems to be trees, maybe a little bit hills and things. So it could be trouble for infantry just getting, their blank pushed in constantly by attack boats. Only time will tell. I have a feeling you're going to get that assignment of destroying 20 boats rather quickly on these maps. Here we look at a detailed image from the Lost Islands. This is obviously the crash plane. I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. Typical DICE, incredible environmental detail. Looks beautiful. Obviously, this is an image, but I wouldn't be surprised if the game looks very similar to this. They make incredible environments. I'll give them that. I do notice the fire. Looks like we're gonna get some like Metro, fire. Could just be a graphic enhancement. They like that orange stuff, but it clearly looks like fire to me. So time will tell. You can blow up the plane, so it seemingly fits. I also expect a storm similar to Parasol Storm, but DICE has gone on record saying copying what they are not going to be copying what has already been done. So we'll see. Time will tell. Expect some stormy weather, but not cookie cutter of Parasol Storm. The next map we're going to take a look at is Nansha Strike. Huge again, very, very big. The tiny little island there with the outer islands, that is actually the focal map where all the objectives are going to be. So you can get a scale of how big this thing is. Again, it's huge. Looks like some sandbars or shoals that could snag boats, up at the top there, down at the bottom. Could be interesting, if you have boats chasing you and things. If you're smart, you could use these things. I don't know. Again, I'm going to keep reiterating, time will tell. We'll see how these things play out. They have said the map will have stormy weather. It'll have stormy seas, stormy weather. Quote, wage war across stormy seas on the largest ocean stretch and battlefield map yet with Nansha Strike. So this is the largest ocean stretch. I'm going to take that just to mean the largest map overall. A huge expanse of seas. This is their naval strike. Their showpiece here for the big ships. This is where we thought we might get big ships, but we'll see how carrier assault works out in this. Obviously, there's plenty of room for boats to play, plenty of room for air assets as well. Here we zoom in on the Nansha Strike map. You can see now we're focused in on that main island with a couple, satellite islands around it. Clearly seems to be some kind of military installment, a dockyard up in the upper right-hand corner there. It looks like, have said this seems much more infantry friendly. It seems to be a lot more cover, kind of buildings, things like that. Seems a lot more than the previous map we looked at. There's some kind of fortification in the lower left, it looks like. Hard to tell here, but definitely looks like some kind of, fort or a little mini castle. Maybe that's where that old cannon assignment comes from. I don't know, just kind of making a stab here. Main island, I would assume, would be the domination TDM map. Again, would be wondering how they do rush on this. Again, it's very cyclical map. Is that a word? It's not linear as rush maps seem to like. So, I'm not sure how they would work that out. Definitely looks like obliteration could work here. Conquest clearly could work here. Carrier assault remains to be seen, but I could see that working from what we know about it. Worry about snipers, obviously, on the outer islands, just shooting into the fishbowl, and there's not much an infantry guy with an assault rifle or SMG or what have you could really do much about a sniper just prone out on one of these little islands. You'd have to rely on boats or air assets to take the guy out. The sniper's going to be out there. You just got to have to figure out a way to deal with them. There does appear to be some cover, so hopefully that'll mitigate that a little bit. Next, we're going to take a look at Wavebreaker. Again, a massive map, a massive expanse of ocean. This seems to be the most wide open. I don't know about that landmass to the north. I'm going to assume you can't get on it. If you do, there's going to be snipers up there. If there's a way to get up there, people will find it. But if that is not included in the main map, we're going to zoom in on that in a second. Dice has said, drop a submarine on your foes as you infiltrate a naval base or rush between shipping docks and rocky islands on a massive Wavebreaker map. It certainly is massive, and as we zoom in, you'll see it's definitely rocky. And it has shipping things, huge open expanses of water for boats and jets to fight. And again, if you're a flyboy or you like the boats, this is clearly the DLC for you. It does appear to be some infantry elements for a guy like me, so I'm kind of happy with that. Really hope all these waves won't crush performance. I mean, we have a huge ocean here. Obviously, that dynamic waves that are synchronized across everybody. I mean, they wouldn't do it if it was going to crush the performance, but I'm going to be interested to see how well they are able to implement that. Here we zoom in some more on Wavebreaker. This is kind of the rocky outcropping they're talking about. The shipyards you can see to the top. It's obviously a fortified base, mountain, volcano, something like that with a sub base inside it. Remember, you're going to be able to drop a submarine on your foes. I'm seeing that in that big middle rock outcropping. It looks like some concrete like piers on the sides there and towards the top, and then you have some kind of military installation to the north there with some buildings and things. I would imagine that might be where the TDM and domination occur. Could be on the main island inside. We don't know, obviously. Might be easier here for infantry to get away from the boats and the air assets. They can go inside, clearly it looks like, and do some CQB fighting. Seems this will definitely have more interior and CQB fighting. This might be the most infantry-friendly map that they're going to put out with this DLC. Definitely looks like infantry will play a focal role. Ship, air, more in support. You're going to have to put boots on the ground to get the objective on this one, because I just see a lot of it happening inside into that naval base to the top. Certainly a lot of little islands and things. Again, snipers are going to be on top of them, so you're going to have to learn how to take care of that. As we look at a detailed image of the submarine on Wavebreaker, I just added this in here to kind of give you a look at the interior of the sub-dry dock, giving you an idea of the CQB and infantry fighting interior. Inside, like I said, there's obviously verticality here with the gangways and the staircases and stuff, so definitely looks like it could be an interesting map for an infantry guy like me. This, like I said, could be where TDM and Dom is, or it could be that other little kind of looked like a shipyard or something to the north. Time will tell. We'll have to see. Seems to be some good options on this map, though. Alright, and the last map we're going to take a look at to wrap up this Naval Strike DLC is Operation Mortar. Again, we see large open areas, but seems to have some like cover for boat fighting. You can peek around islands and things like that. Might make it a little more tactical. It's not just bombarding each other. Dice has said, this is their description: storm an abandoned cliffside resort or get lost in the breathtaking vistas on Operation Mortar. They've also gone on to say in a recent blog that on Mortar Strike map, they don't even have the name of their map right, you'll start fighting at dawn and the map will be lit up by the resort lights. As the fight rages on, the sunrise will drench the tropical island in beautiful sunlight. This looks to be that day-night cycle people have asked so much about. Will be very interesting to see how that plays out, if that affects maybe your loadout. Do you go infrared or FLIR or something like that? I don't know, that would be cool. It's going to make camping and stuff a little easier, but as it changes, I just think it's good. It adds some variety. Might as well try it and see how it works out. Here, as we look in on the Operation Mortar zoomed image, what jumps out to me clearly is this is probably the best map suited to rush, most friendly for rush, as you would attack up the hill. I remember they said the cliffside resort, so that looks like that little mountain up there in the upper right-hand corner there. Not corner, but upper right, say like 2 o'clock on a clock orientation. You would start down on the little huts that are in the water on the lower left there. It reminds me a lot of like Bora Bora images and things I've seen, and you would fight your way up bottom left to upper right, and you would fight your way up the hill. Remind me very much kind of World War II and that kind of thing. A lot of rocky outcroppings, cliffside resort, they've said. I would imagine there's probably some tunnels, maybe some bunkers. If there isn't under this rock, it would be really kind of surprising. Seems like a great opportunity to have some tunneling there and some CQB elements. Again, throw a bone for the infantry. Looks like this will also be an infantry focal one where the boats and the air are more in a support role. Seems like there's a lot of terrain to deal with, undulating hills and things. Lack of solid cover. Seems more like huts and things we've seen, totally destructible huts. I'm going to give you a detailed image in a second. Some trees, things like that. Lack of solid cover, at least up until you get up into the rocky cliff. So it could be interesting for infantry to find really good cover. Like I said, at least until you get up there into some possible bunkers and tunnels. But this one is probably the most intriguing to me as far as a rush thing. I have no idea where they would put domination or TDM. I guess up in the rocks there or something. But I guess there seems to be like a little kind of village or something down below. It'll be interesting to see, though. Here I'm going to show you a more detailed images of the huts, and this is where I tell you that seemingly totally destructible, not very good cover. Again, very beautiful. It's going to be a resort environment, which should be pretty interesting to take a look at. So that about wraps up the images I have today for the Naval Strike maps and a little analysis for you, a little insight. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think this is going to be good for infantry? We had some concerns leading in, but now as we start to find more information and things, I'm feeling a little bit better about it. Clearly a DLC for the boat and air lovers, of course. What are you guys thinking? Are you excited for this? I am pretty excited. I'm very excited for Carrier Assault, of course. I'm excited to see how the hovercrafts are going to play out. They said they can operate seamlessly from the sea on land, which I'm a little skeptical about, because I feel like there should be some loss there. It shouldn't handle as well on sea, and it shouldn't handle as well on land. Otherwise, what are jet skis for and things? So we'll see. We'll see how they balance it out. But definitely looking forward to it. About a week away now, less than actually. So it's going to be coming very soon, at least if you have premium. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. If you appreciated the video, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate the support, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Take care.